Okay, let's see if I can remember how to do this. Hello and welcome to another episode of Tales from the Midnight Diary. If you're surprised to see me, hi, surprise! I did share that I wouldn't be podcasting for quite some time, just at the start of this year. But I have some admin to do with you, so I thought I would pop on and announce some prize winners from the make-alongs, talk about make-alongs and things that are going on in the future, and just give you a little bit of a life update should you be so interested. Also, it's the end of a year and I would love to review the projects that I have made over the course of 2021. So if you are down for that, then welcome. So if you are a new viewer, my name's Gemma. I am the dyer, designer, tutor, all-round nonsense purveyor behind the Midnight Dyery, which is my hand-dyed yarn company that is based in Kent, where I live with my husband, my animals and my new baby boy. I'm on a bit of a hiatus at the moment. Took a break just before my little boy arrived. He's not quite 3 months old, he's 10.5 weeks at the moment, so I'm still not podcasting really, so this is going to be a bit of an unusual episode, but I do invite you to go back and check out the other episodes of this podcast series, Tales from Midnight Diary, but also there's like a back catalogue of nearly 3 years of the project bag from before I did my rebrand. I haven't actually tidied up before doing this, and I'm just noticing like a rattle and a teeny tiny sock and things in the background, so you're going to have to forgive the mess. This isn't a regular episode. If you're a returning viewer, he is asleep. I've basically got as long as he stays asleep to do this. If you're a returning viewer, welcome back. Thanks so much for bearing with me, and can I just start at the top of the episode by saying a huge thank you from the bottom of my heart and my husband's heart for all the love and support and well wishes we've received since I announced I'd be taking a break, ready to welcome little bear, and to everyone who has sent well wishes to welcome him to the world, and also all the wonderful gifts that you've sent for my little boy to welcome him. He is thoroughly loved. You are going to stay asleep. He's at the moment snuggled under a hand crocheted blanket from one of my friends that arrived in the post. It's really lovely. It's got a nice weight to it because it's cotton. It's quite a thick cotton. I think it's Aran weight, and it's comforting. I'm not going to go through everything that everyone has sent because I would be here until he was a year old, and I'd be sure to miss something. But just know that we are so grateful, and I'm sure some things have been shared on my Instagram stories. I've got a highlight reel called Picmas because I wasn't doing Vlogmas, and he's chatting in his sleep. And yeah, so I have been sharing some of those. For example, Robin's box of socks were sent to me, and they've been shared in Picmas and things like that. So I'm not going to go through everything that he's been sent. He's a very lucky boy. There's been handmade toys, blankets, clothes, socks, all sorts of things. I was sent a pack of brownies, which was very much appreciated. Yeah, so as I say, I'm not going to go through it all here. Just heartfelt thank you. I've thanked you individually. I love you. I'm really grateful, and we are overwhelmed and consider ourselves so blessed that we have such a wonderful crafty family out there who are excited as we are that our son has made it safely into the world. So yeah. Right, do we start with giveaway prizes? I kind of think I should. So we've got, and then I'm going to see the video watching time just drop, aren't I, after this? So we had 2 make-alongs that I needed to announce prizes for. I've announced one already, the Midnight Make-along, which was running for the entirety of 2021. And we're going to do that again, but slightly differently, and I'll explain that shortly. I've stolen the format from Helen of Giddy Yarns because I think she does it much better than I did. And basically for the whole year, anything you make that uses the project bag yarns or designs or Midnight Dyery yarns or designs, 50% off. You can enter into the Midnight Make-along, and at the end of the year I draw a prize. And I've drawn the prize and I've announced the prize winner, and the prize winner knows who she is. It is Pink Bat Girl, who knit the most beautiful jumper out of my Aurora Borealis colourway in double knitting weight yarn. I will share a picture again here if I can. I'm not sure how much editing time I'm going to have. And she doesn't actually know what she's won yet. And one of the prizes I can't find, which comes as no surprise, but she's won 3 skeins, which is a sweater's quantity, and I can say that with fair 3 skeins of playing fields on my merino tencel base, and you can see, so the fluff is already up my nose. It's only been what, 5 minutes and it's already up my nose. I'm going to try and do this in one take as well. Of playing fields, which is my merino tencel base. You can see that sheen. Tencel is crushed wood pulp. It's sustainable, it's ethical, it's strong like nylon and silk, but without any of the kind of ickiness. Has a lovely drape and sheen, so I really hope you'll enjoy that. I have gone through your Instagram feed. I haven't seen you in anything like this, but you do seem to embrace all the colours, so I'm hoping that this will be a pleasant addition to your yarny collection. In addition to that, you also get a Midnight Dyery drawstring bag. That's the one I can't find. I only saw it last week, so it's here somewhere, but I will pop a picture up for you, as I also couldn't find my one. So well done. I hope that that is sufficient and you enjoy your prize. Now going forward, we're going to be doing it again. Midnight Make Along 22 is going to be the hashtag, and again, anything you make, if you make something from one of my patterns or designs, I don't know why I said patterns or designs, they're the same thing. Patterns, yarn, then you get to enter it into Midnight Make Along 22. The only difference is this year, finished objects from previous years don't count. Okay, so it has to be a new thing this year. You can count whips, you can carry whips over from last year if you've got something like that. Okay, so there we are. And the prizes will be drawn for that quarterly. So you'll get, and again, this is where I'm stealing it from Helen of Giddy Yarns, you're going to get a skein of yarn of your choice from my catalogue each quarter as a thank you for using my yarn, using the hashtag and sharing your makes. So that is that one. The next one was phenomenally well received. It was the Great Winter Cast On. I've done it every year for about, I think this is the 4th year I've run the Great Festive Cast On, but I've changed it to the Great Winter Cast On. And we've had a barrage of patterns donated, prizes donated, which is really exciting. So there were 150 entries, and there were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 prizes all told. Yeah, and actually each time I did the doobly-doo, the random number generator, it came up with something completely different, so I didn't have to faff around. It also didn't pick any of my posts, which is really handy. Oh, Poppet. Shh, stay asleep, please. He's been awake since 10 this morning. Okay, be right back. Okay, apparently that was it. Just one cry. We're good. We're good. Dummy's back in the mouth. We're good. Right, so what I did was we had entries on Facebook in the gallery, and we had in an album that I created, and there were 71 posts in there. The first one was obviously mine, and we had 70 posts. Whatever, I've lost how I worked it out, but basically there were 71 posts in there, and there were 150. Oh God, have I just done this completely wrong? Hello, well, I'm back on a different day because, as luck would have it, as soon as I sat down to record, little man woke up. He's asleep again next to me. I'm not sure how long for. He's immediately stirring at the sound of my voice. If you can hear any cooing, then that's all that is. I don't know where I got to, so I'm going to pick up with announcing the winners for the Great Winter Cast On. There were 230 entries, which is by far and away my most popular make along yet, which is really exciting. I have a list in my gorgeous bullet journal. This, I treated myself to this one. It is by Scribble and Dot. It came beautifully packaged. I bought it last year when I lost my then bullet journal. As luck would have it, I found the bullet journal, so I very grumpily put this away and have saved it for this year. As far as bullet journals go, I'm keeping it fairly minimal this year. Really functional, just the normal key, and literally just to organise myself. The only thing I have done is I've embraced the idea of collections. So this is the Playdate cardigan I'm working on at the moment, and a bookcase for books I've read in 2022, because since little man has been born I have been reading a lot more, sort of using my Kindle in the wee small hours of the morning when I'm waiting for him to fall asleep and things like that. So in here I have a list of prize winners. So to win a skein of, here it is, Smitten, my colourway on 4-ply, which is really blowing out. It's much more purpley than that in real life. The winner of that, and that was donated by Joanne Foreman, thank you very much. She purchased it from my shop for the purposes of putting it into the giveaway, so thank you. And the winner of that is Craftaholical. I'll put the name down below. Winner of a collection, the Kingfisher collection from Athis Yarns. I'll find a picture to put up here. That's by Laura Devlin, who is Athis Yarns, a new indie dyer on the block. She's sort of easing herself into it at the moment. She's running a fabulous make-along called the Squirrel Along, which I don't really need to explain. You guys know just as soon as I say Squirrel Along that I'm there for that one. Make sure you're following her, please, and joining in the fun with that one. It promises to be really good. But P has won the mini skein collection of the Kingfisher collection from Athis Yarns. I have that myself and it's gorgeous. Ali, Willie Ali, whose luck with giveaways continues, has won this gorgeous skein of yarn from Celie McWheely, my lovely friend Katie. My lovely friend, and Sophie yarn muled this for me at Perth Festival of Yarn, and it's called Kaylee, which is a Firefly colourway, I believe. I haven't watched Firefly yet, but I've been working my way through lots of Netflix, again, in the moments when little man is asleep, and yeah, so they picked this up for me, and this is on 100% superwash British Blueface Leicester, which actually is really quite soft. It's softer than I expected. 4-ply, 365 metres. So the meterage actually, it's high twist, so the meterage is a little lower than my merino nylon blend. So well done, Ali. There's the oven. Okay, so that's first three. The next one is the Celie McWheely fibre, which again was yarn muled. It's a giant vat of yarn. I'm not sure of the fibre content, to be honest with you, but there's lots of sparkle, which gets everywhere. I've literally just lifted this up, taken it out of its bag that was used to protect it, and there's sparkle everywhere. So I really hope that you enjoy that. And that was number 189, which is, lost her name, Heather. Who spins. I went through your Instagram to check and that you have a carder and there is evidence of spinning, so right, here you go, enjoy. Uh-oh. Occasionally he just squawks randomly in his sleep and he's totally fine. I'll show him to you in a minute if you would like. So well done, Heather Everson. Right, next we have the So Can Joe bag, which goes to SPD Knits. Now where's the bag? I had it. Oh, it's down here. That goes to SPD Knits. So this is by my lovely friend Jo, So Can Jo, there's her label, who has finally started commercially selling her bags. So do check her out and give her a follow. I've had this for a giveaway since I believe 2020, which is shocking, but I'm finally giving it away. It's absolutely beautiful. I love this fabric. It's actually really high quality fabric. I purchased some of this myself for my own bags, and it's this beautiful woven fabric. It's nice and big. It's not her biggest bag, but you could easily fit a sweater in there. You could fit a head in there, I'm sure, possibly a cat. If you know, you know. So that's that. And then we have a pattern by Sophie Swan, donated one of her patterns. I can't remember which one it is or if she's letting you choose, but Maddie, you've won that, so well done, and you can sort that out with Sophie yourself. P has donated her brownies, which are fantastic. Shortly after Robin was born, a parcel arrived with a really sweet little outfit for Robin, and a box of homemade brownies for Mummy. And as if you've watched the podcast before, you will know I suffered with gestational diabetes during my pregnancy, and I just, oh my god, I said, please let there be cake at the end of this, let there be brownies at the end of this, and P sent me her brownies. So Eva, well done, you have won P's brownies. And hang on, I've screwed up here, I've missed a number. 199, there we go, that's it. Okay, so number 199, who is Angelic Books, you have won a Knit Pro board. I've got one of these myself, you may have seen me using it. I'm not going to open it up, but what it does is it has magnets, and you can put your knitting pattern onto it, and it's got a longer magnet which you can work down your way down the chart with. It folds back, it has a pen holder, it's got a little pocket in it. So yeah, you've won this. And finally, we've got Sunnyside stitch markers from Sunnyside Handmade, and that is going to Erin, who is over in Chicago, which is really exciting. So it's really cool. There are some familiar faces in there, which is always lovely, but also some new people who have joined in the fun of the Great Winter Cast On, and I really hope you will join in again in the future. Yeah, so that's the prizes. So what next? I've raced through that rather. I think we'll talk a little bit about, well, let me just show you why I'm talking so quietly, excuse the mess, but there we are. You can see my little co-host there is taking his job just as seriously as Magnus always did. Magnus is currently out with the dog walker. He still goes out every so often because I ended up having a cesarean section, and so I haven't been able to take on the walks to the extent that I would like. Plus he really enjoys the group walks. He goes out with lots of other dogs a couple of times a week and plays with them, and it's really, really good for him. So we've kept that going. So Magnus is not here at the moment, but he is fine. He's taken quite well to being a big brother. His biggest issue though is that I'm not available for cuddles all the time anymore, and his spot on the sofa is often taken up with a tiny person, which has put his nose a little bit out of joint, bless him, but he is very, very good big brother, as we knew he would be. So those are all the prizes. What else to talk about? I've got my advent calendar has just launched. Well, the information about it has just launched. It actually goes live on the 28th of January. Sign-ups for that, and it's a mini musical advent, so if you look at my website you can see the full details, but I'm really excited about it. I've actually got 2023's advent calendar planned as well, so you can get 20, 10 or 5 gram minis, and it'll be my merino nylon base, so 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon, and this year's it's based on music, as you can guess from the title, Merry Musical Christmas. It's Merry Musical Advent, sorry. This year is based on traditional festive songs. So there's In the Bleak Midwinter, The Holly and the Ivy, Silent Night, Silver Bells. So a mix of kind of more sort of folky and the occasional sort of carol. I don't want it to be overly carol-y, if that makes sense. But yeah, so the colours are inspired by those, and yes, the sign-ups are going live on the 28th of January. That might seem really early, but I'm actually doing a payment plan, so you can split your cost of your advent across 8 payments. So the first one, you buy the first 3 minis and the box packaging, and second 2 through 7 you pay for the next set of 3 minis, and 8 you pay for the last set of 3 minis, and your postage goes on to that one as well. So as I say, that goes live on the 28th of January. There's a pay in full option, but with that one you have to accept that you're going to get an invoice for the postage afterwards. I am sending these out internationally, hooray! I'm still trying to sort out so I can sort out the taxes and duties at my end. I was actually chatting with my lovely friend Jude of Stranded Dye Works quite late into the night about trying to figure out how to do all this. Because when you're a small business, a lot of the solutions that Royal Mail and other people have put into place for you are actually not very cost effective. So what I'm going to do at the moment is I'm going to send internationally duties unpaid. So that means that if you are purchasing from me and you are in the EU, you will need to pay tax and customs upon delivery. So to get it from your post office or equivalent to your home, you will need to pay those fees. You would need to pay them anyway if I had all my ducks in a row, but it would just be calculated at checkout for you. At the moment, if you want to buy from me, and it goes from anything in my shop now, if you want to buy from me and you are in the EU, drop me a message, tell me what you would like, and I will help work out the taxes and duties to you. There is a fantastic website I've been using to help me with this, and I'll drop the link down below if I remember, if I get chance. I'm trying to do this in one take without lots of edits, so you are getting the raw product here, unfortunately, not the polished finished article. And some of you are like spitting out your tea, I'm sure, now going, what you've given us before is polished and finished. Yeah, right, Gem. Anyway, but I will help figure that out. It doesn't mean it's going to cost you more than if I'd sorted it out myself. I obviously wouldn't be footing the bill to pay the tax and customs for you to purchase from me, because it's just not tenable. I would have to put my prices up. So either way, it needs to be covered by you. Just said I'm doing this in one take, forgot and took a bite of my quiche, sorry. So there's that. And the other thing is my Great Yarns series. So following the popularity of the cozy boxes last year, I've thought, right, what can I do this year? And some of you might know I used to be an English teacher. Books are my first love. I've been reading since I was 2. I love books. I don't get to read enough anymore. I'm actually reading more now I've had Robin. For those of you who don't know, the name of my little boy is Robin. He is 10.5 weeks old. He's going to be 11 weeks on Saturday. And he's just a joy, an absolute joy. And very tiring, but an absolute joy. But since Robin came along, I have been able to read more, admittedly on the Kindle, rather than anything else. And so what I'm doing is a Great Yarn. So each quarter, it's going to be quarterly again because I need to keep it something I can manage. You get a mystery skein of yarn, and you don't get to choose the base, but all of the yarns for the whole year are going to be my merino nylon 4-ply. I figure that's easier. And you can add extra skeins if you so desire. I think I've set it up like that. I'm not sure. Anyway, and you also get a book. And if you're an international customer, you get an ebook copy. But if you are domestic, then you will get an actual pre-loved copy of the book that I have chosen. Why pre-loved? Doing our bit, rescuing books. I love books. The idea of books being thrown out, destroyed, burned, just discarded hurts me deeply. I mean, obviously you don't get that new book smell, which is just the best smell, possibly, you know, next to new baby, the smell of new book. Actually, new book comes higher for me. Is that awful? Sorry, Robin. But you know that we've saved a book from, you know, landfill or whatever. So this year I'm keeping it really simple because I don't know how much brain I'm going to have. So we're going for knit lit, which is a kind of genre of book that basically involves knitting or crochet somehow. The first one is one of my absolute favourites. I've got a feeling that some of you will have read it already, but it's easy reading, and as part of the box subscription, I say subscription, but you opt in each time. It's not a rolling subscription. I believe in, as far as possible, I believe in allowing people to have life, basically. Life happens. You can sign up for something and think, oh yeah, 25 quid a quarter, that's totally doable. And then one quarter, something could go horribly wrong and you don't have that 25 quid. And last thing I want is anyone having to message me going, oh, I can't do it. You opt in each time. The book is a mystery as well. But as part of the payment, part of the £25 that you pay to me, you get a Zoom code, and for each fortnight for the following quarter, you get the chance to go and hang out and knit or crochet or weave with the other people who've bought the book box. And you can talk about the book as well. So that gives you 6 Zoom sessions. So for £25, you get a skein of yarn, a pre-loved book chosen by moi, and 6 Zoom sessions where you can actually chat about books and do your knitting or crochet, and make new friends. So I think that's a pretty good deal. Next year we're going a little bit broader. I've already lined up the books for next year as well, and they're going to be books that were part of the Carnegie Awards, not necessarily winners, but long lists and short lists. I used to run a Carnegie shadowing group at one of my schools that I taught at, and the library would buy in. When the long list came out, we would select some books and the library would buy them in for us. We would read them and talk about them, and they were really, really good. I know they're sort of more young adult books, but actually fantastic pieces of literature. So yeah, so that'll be next year. This year, as I said, not getting any prizes for literary prowess, I guess, but I think for me, reading is about enjoyment and escapism, and what's the point if you're not enjoying it? So those are the 2 things that are going on. Right, so 2021 review. I can't believe it is another year passed. I had a goal of completing 24 projects. I actually completed 26 in 2021. Not all of them were new cast-ons. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 21 of them were new cast-ons, so that's not bad. And 5 were existing. So I have completed, I'm going to try and put a list up if I can do the editing like I did last year. If not, just listen and enjoy. With 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sweaters, 1, 2, 3, 4 pairs of socks, 3 hats, 4 blankets, 3 cowls, 3 shawls, 3 pairs of gloves or mittens, and a pair of baby booties. So that is not bad. So let's go through. The most recent sweater I completed was the Gia sweater, which is a new one from Rowan. It's worked in Rowan's Big Wool, and it's part of the 4 projects booklets, which are £2 or free if you buy the yarn. Certainly that's how the Yarn Dispensary is doing it. And I did this as a shop sample for the launch in September. I knocked it up in 2 weeks. My goal was to use a ball of yarn a day, and it took me 10 days. Brilliant. Really, really good. Really enjoyed that. There were some errors in the neck. Wanted it to be something like 25 centimetres long. It was ridiculous. So I did shorten the neck, but I don't have a picture of the finished item because they didn't take finished object pictures at the shop, but I'll put a picture of what it is actually here. The next one was the simple sweater that I did for Robin. Yes, technically this is a child sweater, but hey ho. Still needs buttons. I've lost the buttons that I selected for it. They were last seen in an envelope in my car, but we'll try and find them. I worked that in Fibre Space Vivacious DK. I absolutely love that yarn. I was slightly annoyed that I had to go into a second skein, but hey, Robin's worth it. Does make it the most expensive baby garment I have ever made. Yeah, I think even more so than the one I'm doing for him at the moment, which is in hand-dyed yarn. Anyway, really simple, enjoyed doing it, would much prefer it to be in the round, hate seaming, but my lovely friend Laura at This Yarns got me through it one night. We were chatting and I said, oh, I'll just start pinning this sleeve in, and next thing I know I've sewn the sleeve in. So thank you, Laura, for that. That was really helpful. The bird watcher, I think I actually did this before the next one I'm going to talk about, but anyway, the bird watcher tee, I worked this in my merino tencel base. It took 2 skeins. My skeins have 333 meters in each, and I worked it in a colorway called Purple Rain, which is a purpley silvery kind of ethereal colorway. Really enjoyed the make. It fitted really nicely. I was really happy with it, but ultimately the neckline isn't for me. It's quite a high neckline, and I don't know why I did it, because I like lower necklines. High necklines just do not suit me. I don't feel comfortable in them. However, I have a very knitworthy friend, Sophie Swan, of the Spring Snowflake podcast, and she is an up-and-coming designer, so you need to be following her as well. And she really liked it, so I gifted it to her. And bless her, she's been repping the Midnight Dyery by wearing it to festivals and things, which is really cool. So I've put pictures in of me wearing it, and I'll ask her if I can pop a picture in of her wearing it as well. It looks absolutely gorgeous on her. The next one was the Ivy tunic. Now this was a test knit. Now I'd said I wasn't going to be doing any test knits because I'm horrible at them, but the Ivy tunic I absolutely loved. I wanted something that would see me through pregnancy and beyond. And I worked this in my cotton base and my cotton DK, which is organic Pima cotton. It's really lovely. It's a pig to dye. It takes ages. And I'm in 2 minds as to whether I'm going to continue offering plant-based yarns, because it's just not popular. So I'd like to know your opinions below. It's certainly not feasible for me to hold stock with, like, to just dye stock. It'd have to be dye to order, I think, if I did it. But anyway, I digress. Really enjoyed this. This is by Knitway, Maria Walters. It is unusual in that it has crochet and knitting. So it's got a beautiful crocheted border, neckline, sleeve hem, cuffs. They're not cuffs because they're up here because it's short sleeve. But anyway, I didn't do the belt because I figured I wouldn't need it. Now I think I may well end up doing the belt to go with it. The other one was a long-term whip that you were also fed up of seeing, and it was a crocheted garment, my first adult crochet garment, the Eliza Tee by Verity of Truly Hooked. I worked this in Verity's yarn. I ran out of yarn because I did it on a much tighter gauge. Again, Sophie came to the rescue. There's a theme here. There's a lot of Sophies and P's and Allies going to come up as part of my year, and Joe's, and yeah, Jules, and yeah, honestly 2021 is the year of friendship, and I have got some incredible friends. I'm so lucky. That means the world. Anyway, I'm not going to go down that. Eliza eventually finished it and I felt amazing. Kind of really wanted one for myself, but you guys don't need to watch me plough through another one of those. On to socks, and the first pair I finished were my Silent Night socks, which is a West Yorkshire Spinners colourway for Christmas 2020. I absolutely loved these. I went out into the frost to take finished object photos, and my feet stayed dry and toasty, which was nice. I have worn these to death. They still have the West Yorkshire Spinners label on because I did use them as a sample in my day job shop, and I can't bother to take the label off. But yeah, really enjoyed those. Just did my standard vanilla sock recipe. All of these socks are my standard vanilla sock recipe. And then I embarked on my dad's box of socks, effectively, on my Operation Dad sock drawer, or just, you know, make my dad look silly. I started with Rum Paradise, which is another, they're all West Yorkshire Spinners, by the way, spoiler. Started with Rum Paradise, which I believe is now a discontinued colourway. And they're just rainbow socks, and they're just joyful. I've really enjoyed making these. My dad is one who tucks his trousers into his socks when he rides his bicycle, and I just thought everyone could do with a smile. And my dad very sweetly said to me the other day that he would rather wear my hand knit socks than any others. So it looks like I'm going to be knitting socks for a while. So that was pair one. I finished another 2 pairs for him in the waiting rooms of hospital appointments. The peacock socks, which again I'll flash up here. Again, another West Yorkshire Spinners colourway. That's from their British Birds collection. And the other one was another cocktail, the Blue Lagoon socks, which again, flash a picture up of here. The final pair is not finished. I finished this one before Christmas and cast on the second one. I'm working on the heel flap now on it, but Robin has eaten significantly into my knitting time, and I'm doing other things as well. I got distracted. Squirrel. And this is Hollyberry, which were going to be his Christmas socks, but he will, I mean, they're all year round socks. They don't have to be Christmas socks. But as you can see, they're quite long. They take me quite a long time to knit. So yeah, and I will be working on lots more socks for him in the future. Actually, this was not meant to be socks. I bought my first ever skein of Mothy and the Squid, which is, she seems to be getting a bit down about sales a lot on her Instagram. I think things perhaps, they're tough for everyone, to be honest with you. But anyway, I thought I'll go and have a look at your shop and see what you've got, Gillian. And she had this gorgeous skein, which is called Loch Tay. And that is actually a loch in Scotland, which is near Stirling, where my dad lives. Yeah, and it's so beautiful. And it's a merino silk blend, high twist. And my plan was to make Dad a cowl in it. I was going to design him a cowl. But when I explained to him what a cowl was, because he didn't know, he said he wouldn't wear it. And that's when he said he'd rather wear my socks than anything else. So this is going to be a very decadent pair of socks for my dad for his birthday, which is the 8th of February. So, will I get it done? Who knows? Possibly next birthday, but I've bought them. They're there. On to hats. I knit the Antler Toque by Tin Can Knits. This was done for a lovely lady called Emma, who works at the coffee shop at the country park where we walk the dog at the weekend. I say we walk, I sit and knit and drink coffee and rock the pram. My husband runs around kicking a ball about for the dog. But it was my one outing with my husband during my pregnancy, because I couldn't walk the dog, so it was really important for me to get out, and he took me there every weekend, and it became a bit of a tradition. And basically how it actually started with a pair of mitts. The younger girl, Lily, who works there, she was really cold one day, and she was wearing a jacket which was not done up, and I told her to do it up, and no mittens. I said, you could really do some fingerless mitts, couldn't you? And she said, yeah, I could. I keep holding my hands out to the heater to try and keep myself warm. And so I thought, well, I've got some yarn, so I made her a pair, and bless her, she really liked it. My husband pointed out I couldn't really make something for Lily without making something for Emma. I was like, but they're not meant to be Christmas presents. I don't want that pressure. Sure enough, I finished it by New Year. But anyway, I used I think it was Blue Flace Leicester, could be Jacob. It was West Yorkshire Spinners fleece anyway. It was undyed, pure fleece, pure wool. And I really, really enjoyed the Tin Can Knits patterns. There's a bit of a Tin Can Knits fan thing starting to happen towards the end of the year for me. And Emma really liked it as well. Oh, the dog is back from his walk. I shall go and let him in. Right, dog is in. He's also stolen my quiche. You're going to hear his collar on his bowl. So the other one I did was a baby hat for Robin. A little picture up here. And I did the Mr. Beanie, which was my first pattern release of 2021. So yeah, that's a really satisfying knit. It has been felted. I'm going to knit him another one, and also going to grade the pattern for different sizes as well, because currently it's only one size. So pattern grading is something that I'm going to be working on in 2022. Onto blankets. I finished Mia's Christmas Eve blanket. I genuinely thought I finished it in time for Christmas last year. Apparently I didn't. And made Kit's Christmas Eve blanket. So those were in King Cole Yummy in the Merry Christmas colourway. I made a honeycomb blanket, which came with a Let's Knit magazine. And I used Falkland Merino Aran. I did that for my nephew, who was born just 3 weeks before Robin in October. And I finished my mild rainbow blanket with minis. And that's actually went to a friend of mine. I actually gave it to my friend Mina, who is the knitting expat. I gave it to her little girl whose favourite colour is rainbow, and it's had a rainbow bedroom in their new house, which I'm not saying anything I shouldn't there. It's been well documented. Mina's got some vlogs sharing the house upgrades and things like that. So it's gone to my friend Mina. On to cowls. 3 cowls, all of which from my own design, one of which I have here, and this has blown me away how popular this one's been. It's my last design of 2021. And it's called the Popcorn Garland Cowl. So called because I used Jude's Popcorn Garland yarn. As soon as I saw his Christmas colourway this year, I knew I had to get it, and I had to splash out and get the fluff as well, and hold them together and create this cowl which has strings of garland with popcorns hanging off of it. So and I love it. It's quite a large cowl. It's not one you could wrap around twice, but I wanted one that you could sort of tuck in. You can squidge it into your collar, you can wear it more loose if you want. So the one thing I struggle about with scarves is you've either got them on or you've got them off, or I'm looking at the cowl, not you, sorry. Also, I've got the camera the other way around. I normally have the camera that side, so normally looking over there, I'm actually looking at you, but actually all I'm doing is looking at myself and you're over here. Sorry. But it's really super soft. This is the Suri alpaca base with the merino nylon base, and I just love it. I love it so much. And I've been absolutely blown away by how popular this pattern has been. Yeah, Jude's messaged me a couple of times going, right, we got any more copies of the pattern on your website? Come on, sort it out, girl. So yeah, that's that. The other one was a crocheted pattern called the Sophisticowl. I think I've called it the Sophisticowl. I've got no idea. And that's a really simple working into the third loop or the dropped loop cowl. Put a photo up if I can find one. And that was part of the cozy box. And along with that was the Travelling Vines, which is the knit version, which I saw earlier. I think it's upstairs. And that's an Aran weight pattern. Both of those patterns are now available on my website, on my PayHip store. So 3 cowls, 3 designs. On to shawls. One was a long languishing whip, one was a new cast on, and one was a new design. So we started with the Parma shawl, which is in my merino tencel base. And around the time I took a week off for Lara's birthday, we had snow, and I decided to work on my first Anakin and Alice pattern. I'm a massive hoarder of Anakin and Alice patterns. I want to make all of them. I love what she does with lace. I've never made any of them. I've just collected the patterns. And I bought the book Easy Lace Knits and made the Parma shawl out of it. I played yarn chicken a bit and would have lost, so I cut off a little bit of the garter edge at the bottom. But it's still a really good size and really bouncy, springy and beautiful, and I love it. The next one was the Ptolemy mystery shawl, which I finished. I'm really thrilled to have got that off the needles. It's been on the needles since 2018. It was my first foray into using inter-dyed yarn, my first kind of shawl, I think it was the first shawl I'd actually cast on, and my first mystery along, and the one that took the longest to do. So I'm absolutely thrilled to have that off the needles. And the final one was my design, the Strawberry Lemonade shawl, which was a complete labour of love, but I'm just so thrilled with. It's worked in one skein of merino nylon, and the design allows for an I-cord edge, and actually P worked her I-cord edge all the way around the outside and had enough yarn, so that's cool to know. I'm whizzing through these, but hopefully, I mean, the idea is just a quick recap. Then onto gloves. I had the New Leaves mitts, which were again cozy box design, fingerless mitts with a fully gusseted thumb and a simple lace pattern on the front, which I was really pleased with. Along with my first ever pair of crocheted mitts. Now, I've never crocheted mittens before, ever, so logically I thought I'd design some. Again, labour of love. Huge thanks go out to Ali and Sophie, who helped me massively, and Jess, who helped me massively with perfecting the decreases, because I was doing a fully, quite often on mitts you just get a gap and you stick your thumb out, but I wanted an actual, you know, gusset and thumb and shaping and all the rest of it. And the thing I love about crochet is it's kind of sculpture with yarn. You can really do really fun things with the shaping. But I got them out. They're perfectly plain but are really nice fitting, and they show off variegated yarn quite well. So I'm pleased with those. And the final pair were the Maze mitts, which I shared with you. So I've called this gloves, but really it's fingerless mitts, 3 pairs of fingerless mitts, which I shared with you a while ago that I made for Lily at the country park. Okay, now the last one was baby category. I could have put the hat and the simpler sweater in it, but this just has booties, and that's it. Again, I'm at West Yorkshire Spinners, Bo Peep Luxury DK, which keep his little toes warm. And I whipped those up after he was born. I didn't really knit much for him before he was born, but there we are. So that's that. Those are my makes of 2021. I have said I would like to make 15 things in 2022. I've got a feeling my knitting time is going to be slightly reduced. That said, I've got some really exciting things on my needles. No finished objects yet this year, but I'll just show you as we're kind of podcasting. This is the Playdate cardigan by Tin Can Knits. I have finished one sleeve. I have picked up for the second sleeve, and this will fit him for approximately 1 week. I started really well. But then he had his vaccinations, and he was born with a tongue tie, and he had that fixed. And so basically I lost an entire week to just cuddles, which is fine. But they have teeny tiny pockets. And the great thing about this is a paid for pattern from Tin Can Knits. Lots of their patterns, they do a simple collection which are all free, with the aim of teaching people to knit, helping people learn. But this one is a paid for pattern, and it goes from this size, which is 0 to 3 months, up to fully fledged, big as you like adult. And I'm using hand dyed yarn. This is Van Gogh by Starry Night by Joanna Wood Paint, who was a new to me dyer I came across when I won her giveaway, and then we've built up a bit of a friendship. She was expecting at the same time. Her little girl was born just a few days before Robin. And yeah, this was a gift to me, this skein from my boss, because we had Joey as the dyer, guest dyer of the quarter, back in the summer. And so I'm whipping it up into a play date. Now, I know she doesn't watch this, so there's no spoilers here, but perchance Robin is not going to fit this. He might get one wear out of it. This is going to go to Mina, who is expecting her second little one. So yeah, so it's already got a good home to go to if Robin doesn't fit this. The other exciting thing I've got on the needles, and it should have been finished, and I was on track to finish it, but I don't have any notes for the pattern because it was really well written anyway, and I'm going to promote the hell out of it regardless because I love it, is the Kinsey beanie, which is designed by Cat Crafty Knits, my lovely friend Cat. We struck a friendship again over the past year, and she's absolutely lovely and very talented up and coming designer. How she fits in with the job and 2 small children, don't ask me, couldn't tell you. So this is in my peacock colourway, which is blowing out terribly on my screen. I'm not sure how it shows up. It's very tealy in real life, teal and electric blue, and it's got this really interesting slip stitch and cable pattern. The crown is absolutely beautiful, or it will look more beautiful when it's blocked and on someone's head. And I'm doing this as a surprise gift for my mother-in-law. I'm using my merino cashmere nylon base, Aran weight base, and I dyed this skein specifically for this project. I absolutely love it. She does the most interesting things. It's a top-down hat with a pinwheel cast on, which I've never attempted before and was vaguely terrified about. But actually her tutorials are fabulous. You can do it on magic loop rather than DPNs. Do check her out. She's fantastic. And I found the increases, this is going to sound really weird, I found the increases exciting. So well thought through about which way they lean and how they build into the pattern. Just absolutely mind-blowing. Very talented designer, and she's being a very sensible designer. She's come up with this totally gorgeous stitch pattern and is putting it on everything, a la Stephen West. And I am here for it. I've seen her working on socks, which I am so going to be making. I'm not sure what weight she's doing the socks in, but I think they're crying out to be a DK or an Aran weight pair of socks, to be honest with you, really slouchy and cozy for the winter. And she's holding a yarn double with floof and doing a Kinsey cowl as well, complete drawstring and tubey thing. Oh my god, she's so talented. She's also released a jumper pattern, the garter squish pattern, and the garter squish beanie. So yeah, she's just prolific for someone who's just started out, and she's also a really lovely person, and we like to support really lovely people, don't we? It helps, it's a bonus. Her patterns are incredibly well written. She's gone to the trouble of getting them tech edited as well. Not all beginner designers do that. I think it's worth it. If you're going to put something out into the world, it's got to be as good as possible. But yeah, so that is that. And the only other thing I've got on the needles is the second, okay, I've got lots of things on the needles. My whipboard is here. I had hoped to get it as clear as possible for Christmas, and actually I didn't do badly. So I've got the cardigan for Robin, I've got 2 shawls, 2 tops, although the Julia is pretty much frogged, 2 pairs of socks and a long-term blanket. Now I don't think that's bad. I don't think I'll be getting up to 50 whips anytime soon, but I'm actively working. Obviously I haven't got the Kinsey on there at the moment, but I'm actively working on these. So, and there is my dad's second sock, and I was very good and I counted the number of rows to the heel and then promptly knit 2 extra rows. But I'm working on the heel flap at the moment, and so yeah, goodness knows when they'll be finished, but they'll be finished at some point. So yeah, that's everything I've been working on at the moment. I do want to give a shout out to some more happy mail. This came from the lovely Becky of Amo Yarn. She was doing a giveaway when I was having my Instagram hiatus, when I took some time away to prepare for having Robin. Yeah, I knew he was coming that week. I was a bit crafty, really, in saying that, because he wasn't due for another few weeks, but we knew he was going to be born early. You know, not as early as his sister. He was still term at 37 weeks. But yeah, I just needed to give myself a few weeks, and thank you so much for respecting that, everyone. That means so much. I think only a couple of people messaged, and I just really appreciate being given that time and space to focus on my family and what I needed. It really meant the world. But yeah, so while I was on my Instagram hiatus, Ali tagged me in a giveaway that Becky was having, and she wanted to know who might appreciate a little box of Christmas joy. And sure enough, I won, which is amazing. That means like there's 3 things I've won in the past year. It's been the year of winning the things, which is great. So there's her business card. So it came with some stitch markers and this River Kingfisher sock set, which is absolutely gorgeous. So I've just, yeah, I'm looking forward to making a pair of socks out of those. I'm not sure if I'm going to try some colour work or just do it with that. So we've got 100 grams and 20 grams, so 120 grams of yarn. And thank you very much for that, Becky. So that's it, really. I'm not going to dwell on life stuff too much. I've obviously been very busy with Little Bear, who is not going to be appearing on the podcast particularly. I've other than when he sort of chatters away. Huge thank you to Kat and Kim, who are continuing to moderate the Facebook group Midnight Makers. Do join in over there. Make-alongs that are starting this year, I'm involved with but not running the Squirrel Along. That's Athis Yarns. I'll be talking about that on the podcast and sharing what people are up to and being distracted by. That is very much Laura's make-along. Do make sure you're following Athis Yarns. I'll put the stuff down below or on the screen, whatever happens easier with editing this, frankly. I don't know. And the Midnight Make-Along, I think I was talking about that earlier, will come back, and it's going to be quarterly. So use the... Right, I literally have no idea where I got to before I got interrupted by, it was a medical call for Robin. So yeah. With regards to podcasting, I don't think I'm going to be podcasting regularly, certainly for the next wee while. I want to make the most of having my little one here with me. It's been a long time coming. It's been a very stressful journey. It's been frightening at times. It's been magical at times. I need to be mum at the moment. And so I'm taking a step back from everything else. That said, we've got the boxes and the advent calendars that are live in the shop at the moment. I may be coming to Unravel, possibly with Robin, so I might see you there. I'm undecided yet. It's Lara's birthday weekend, and also it's peoply. There are people, and I'm still very nervous about the whole people thing. I am definitely hoping to get up to East Anglia Yarn Festival in March. So if you are at either of those events, perhaps Robin and I will see you there. It would be lovely to see you. In the meantime, keep joining the Midnight Make Along 22, which is the hashtag. I'll put it down here if I haven't already spoken about that. And yeah, basically anything you use Midnight Dyery yarn with or make using one of my patterns, then you can enter. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do it a la Helen from Giddy Yarns, and I will draw, I think she draws monthly, I'm going to draw quarterly, and you will get some yarn from me to make your next project with. So yeah, you get a skein of yarn. You can choose the base, you can choose the colourway, within reason. If it's like the middle of summer and you want chunky yarn, I'm not going to have any in stock. So with respect, with love, I'm not going to buy in a whole batch of yarn for one skein. But yeah, but we can definitely talk about that. Yeah, so what else have I been up to? Reading books. I've unashamedly been rereading Twilight and watching the movies. I finally watched the final two, which I had never seen up until this point. Podcasts, Knitting and Labradors is a new podcast that has popped up. Lovely Karen, I've been chatting with her as well over the last wee while. She's also got a new little one who's a few weeks older than Robin, and she very much seems to have it together. You know, podcasting and making and starting uni and doing all sorts of exciting things. So well done to you, Karen. And Kitty Scrapper, I want to say, Nancy. Again, been following her on Instagram for a while. Became aware suddenly that she's actually had this rather glorious podcast for the last 4 months. It's monthly. And I really enjoy watching her. She's so down to earth and so sort of, she's just herself, and it's brilliant. I'm here for it. I'm here for podcasts where people are just themselves. And yeah, she's got quite a dry sense of humour as well, I think. I really, really enjoy spending time virtually with Nancy on her podcast, and I think you will too. Anything else I've been watching? So I'm late to the party watching Giddy Yarns podcast, but I am now a full subscriber to that. I'm also enjoying Sharon of SCR1TNO, who I've dipped in and out of over the last wee while, but I'm actually dedicatedly watching it now. I enjoyed both of their vlogmases. Yeah, so any other recommendations, then do let me know. I am going to be trying to join in as many make-alongs as possible this year. I've got a list going in the Midnight Makers of all the make-alongs that everyone's doing. So if you know of any good ones, then drop them below. One thing I will say is if you are joining in any of my make-alongs, I would ask that you actually are a follower and a subscriber. Where I've been doing more giveaways recently, I've become aware that there are people entering, and why shouldn't they, entering the giveaways who actually don't follow me on Instagram, so aren't seeing anything else I'm doing and don't subscribe. And I kind of think, for me, I think it'd be better. I prefer people entering to be actual followers and actually interested in the rest of what I do, rather than just what I'm giving away for free. If I'm doing giveaways, I want to give them away as a thank you to people. You know, I mean, maybe I can't say that. Maybe, you know, if you're opening something on the internet, you can't say, well, you have to do X, Y, or Z. But I think it's pretty standard to do giveaways for followers and people who subscribe to the podcast and things like that. So you know, if you're not subscribed yet, then hit that button. If you don't follow me on IG yet, maybe go over and give me a follow. Yeah, so, and the cat's about to scratch the puff, and the dog's about to tell the cat off, and it's all done fairly quietly, so that's good. What's 2022 got in store? I'd like to do 15 projects, finish 15. I'm hoping to get 3 off the needles by the end of the month. So there's that. And I want to join in all the make-alongs and just spend some time sort of seeing what's next for the Midnight Dyery and going to festivals again, and yeah, all the things. So yeah, I'm saying yeah a lot, sorry. Anyway, I'm going to sign off here. I've got no idea how long this episode has been now. I'm going to edit it. Not sure when I'm going to edit it, hopefully this weekend. But the mister has got quite a lot of work to do. And obviously little bear here is taking up a fair bit of our time. And he's starting to coo in his sleep, which is telling me he's wanting his lunch. So yeah, I better go off and do mummy things. But thank you all so much for bearing with me. And this higgledy-piggledy episode, which I will probably delete and re-record. We shall see. If this bit is in there, then I haven't deleted it and re-recorded it. If it isn't in there, then you won't know, but I have deleted it and re-recorded it. yeah, well done to all the prize winners. Thanks for bearing with me. I will be back at some point with a regular podcast again. Can't tell you when that is. But right now, my priorities are a little different. Love you all. I hope you've all had a wonderful festive period and the start to 2022 has been good for you. And yeah, I look forward to seeing you soon. Take care. Bye. Okay, me again. I think we can put this down to possibly baby brain. I have things that I forgot to show you in the podcast, and because I don't know when we're going to record again, I really want to show you. So, acquisitions. First of all, it's going to come as no surprise to you that I am in love with all things Robin, and Lucy Locketland, who is a lovely, lovely person. She has British Birds, Flora and Fauna yarn 2021, and November's yarn was Robin. And oh my god, I didn't realise it was November's yarn. Oh, Dummy's out. My little co-host is kind of asleep again. So it's actually November's yarn, which is fitting because Robin was born in November. And it's absolutely gorgeous, and it is so beautiful. She's really captured the colours of a robin, and anyone who thinks, oh, but it should be red, shouldn't it? No, if you actually look at a robin, they are kind of orangey. And this is 70% baby alpaca, 20% silk and 10% cashmere. I don't know what this is going to become. Quite possibly not something for Robin after all. With the alpaca and silk and cashmere, it's a bit of a luxury base. I don't know. If you've got any suggestions for what I should make this into, then please do let me know. But it is absolutely stunning. She dyed up some spare because she had a feeling it'd be a popular one. And I said, you know, do you think it will still be in stock on the 20th, which was my payday? I think 20th of December, and she said unlikely. I was like, you saved me one. She's like, okay. So she saved me one and did a special listing on her website just for me, which I'm so grateful to you for. Thank you. And it came beautifully packaged in this little organza bag, and I shall treasure it until it decides what it wants to be. Also incoming, which I've only just ordered, was from my friend Jo, SoCan Jo, who does the beautiful bags. She's got a D-Stash account, and oh my god, there are so many sweaters quantities on there at the moment, an absolute steal. Get yourself on there and follow, because she's selling an absolute bargain. And yeah, she's a lovely human as well. She had gobstopper balls from Giddy Yarns, who is my friend Helen, and I've admired her self-striping for a while, but I just haven't got any. And in one of the gobstopper balls was Robin, so that is coming to me as well. And my plan is to turn that into socks for my husband for Valentine's Day / our anniversary. So our wedding anniversary is August, but our anniversary of dating is don't know why I did that. It's very teenagery thing to have, isn't it? A dating anniversary. It's the 10th of March. So, hello. You okay? Oh, big stretch. He may or may not let me finish this. Okay. In other news, my husband's boss has had a little boy, and one of his old work colleagues is having twin boys soon, imminently. So I popped to Hobbycraft and purchased some acrylic based yarn to do some gift knitting in. Now this one is Serdar Snuggly Crofter it's double knitting. That's a self patterning one. That's always fun to use. I've got a couple of balls of that to do like a vest. And then I've got Serdar Snuggly double knitting, which is again lovely workhorse baby yarn. It's quite soft. And finally the Women's Institute in grey. I love the way this yarn washes up. It's got a bit of a sheen to it as well. They're all acrylic. They're really nice qualities. I love Serdar. It was my go-to. Serdar Snuggly is my go-to baby yarn until I discovered West Yorkshire Spinners Bo Peep, and obviously so I purchased these, and I've got like 4 balls of each, I think, to make a something with for these various babies. So that's coming down the pike. And the other thing I've got to share that is very exciting is my very first advent calendar. So this is a 12 days advent, And it's by Rosehill Yarns. It's a Canadian-based dyer. I have admired their stuff for ages. Hilariously, I think she's also called Robin. And in September, October time, I saw them advertising these, and I did this thing, you know, on Instagram. People have the button saying shop now, and I clicked through and I put it in my basket just to see how much the shipping would be. And the shipping was free. I was like, what? And I looked and I reread the small print, and for these boxes they were advertising offering free worldwide shipping. I could not believe it. So my husband and I went halves on it, on the box itself, for my Christmas present, and it's absolutely beautifully packaged. It made me giggle because it came with a Twinings tee, which did make me giggle, and it came with a booklet with 3 different sock patterns to make, and absolutely beautifully packaged in these little pillowcase boxes. I'm not going to go through them all now, but what I will do is get them out and take a picture and show you them all in their glory. But it was really good fun. I opened one every other day of Advent. So they have these sweet little stickers on the front. They're all different. And then you open it up and you find your totally gorgeous mini skein, which is just so lovely. I'm trying to see, can't see what I'm showing you. Absolutely beautiful. This one is called Sugar Cookie, which is just really lovely. So yeah, so there's a range actually. There's some nice subtle ones, and there are some really quite bright and vibrant ones. There's a range of 20 gram minis. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 20 gram minis in a range of really beautiful colours. I think if I hold the box up, you might be able to see the solids in this end. And 2 50 gram skeins. But as I say, I'm not going to get them all out, but I will take a picture and show you. And this one is a beautiful vibrant, it's actually more purpley in real life, called Holly Jolly. And being Canadian, it's yards, it's 231 yards. I'm not sure how much that is in metres. And oh, here we go. And then that beautiful foresty green, which is called Mistletoe. So 2 50 gram skeins and 10 20 gram minis. So I mean, I could easily do a pair of socks in each of the Mistletoe and the Holly Jolly, and I could use one of the other minis for contrasting heels, toes and cuffs. So I could get 3 pairs of socks out of this, I think. So yeah, I will have a look at that, but it's absolutely beautiful. I'm utterly delighted. I have coveted Rosehill yarns for years. They're right up there with Wool and Vine for me, of yarn I would absolutely love to try and to use. It was beautiful dye quality, and just absolutely thrilled. I wrote on the order how grateful I was that they were doing free worldwide shipping. It's a huge thing. They must have lost so much money on doing it, but I am incredibly grateful. And they were very sweet and said, do you want anything else? I went, no, you're okay. But yes, I want all the things. I just love it. I just love it. This box made me so happy, and I'm determined to use it and for it not to languish in stash, and maybe it'll be something for next year. So yeah, cool. So that's it. As I said before, just a huge thank you to everyone for your love and encouragement and support with Robin. All the lovely words, messages, cards, gifts. We were blown away by people's kindness and generosity. He's a very lucky little boy, and he can't say so himself, so I as mummy will say thank you. I don't know if I showed you these earlier, they're still out on the side. His little pair of socks, Sweet Georgia socks, which yeah, he's almost grown out of. So yeah, it's just been absolutely marvellous. And there's try not to disturb him too much. He's currently sleeping under a beautiful cotton Aran weight crocheted blanket as well. So I'm sure there'll be a course for me to show things that are made for him over the course of the next wee while. Like we've just taken off these little robin socks that were made in robin yarn by Ali, for example. So yeah, as I say, I'm not going to go through everything because I will miss people. Handmade things, beautiful gifts, all sorts of bits and bobs that were sent for Robin. So yeah, I'm probably going to end up heavily editing this podcast after all, because A, I'm out of practice, and B, I don't really know what to say other than thank you. I definitely don't want to, like I say, I don't want to go down the road of showing everything off individually because I know I would miss something and I don't want to hurt the person whose thing I accidentally miss. And it's not because I don't love everything that's been sent, it's because there's quite a lot that's been sent. And yeah, I'm just me and I will forget things. So yeah, anyway, I'm going to sit and knit for a bit while he sleeps, hopefully continues to sleep, and I will get this edited and uploaded at some point. Take care.